Stop the rabbits. Defeat the rabbits. Malfunction. Feed the rabbits.
Oh.
What did you have for breakfast? If you're watching in America, maybe you had pancakes, or in Japan, maybe a miso soup. I had my usual peanut butter on toast. We all need to eat because our food gives us energy, and today we're looking at how that energy gets to us humans through something called the food chain.
Perfect. And now for the main course. A lovely bit of lobster. Whoa, whoa. Come back here, you sneaky crustacean. Whoa. Oh. Why, you little...
Whatever your preference, pretty much all of the food you eat will have come from animals and plants. Animals like fish, chickens and sheep give us meat, but also things like eggs and milk. And plants don't only give us our fruit and vegetables, but also grains like wheat and rice that are used to make bread and pasta. Different countries eat different amounts of all the various food groups. For example, most people in India eat almost no meat, and more than half of the Vietnamese diet is grains. But whilst we all eat differently, it's all for the same reason. Us humans, like all animals, need to eat so that we can get energy. That energy allows us to move around and helps us to grow. If we didn't eat, we wouldn't last very long. So this energy is really important for keeping us alive and fit. Like this fella. So where does the energy in our food come from? Well, believe it or not, for every bit of food that you put in your mouth, whether it's meat, fish, milk, fruit, veggies or grains, the energy originally came from the sun. That's right, the big bright thing in the sky. The sun emits energy in the form of light and heat. Back here on Earth, plants turn that light into sugar using a clever process called photosynthesis, which happens in the cells of the plant's leaves. The plant needs that sugar for the same reason we do, for energy, to stay alive and to grow. It can also store it, quite literally, for a rainy day. When the sun isn't shining, the plants can't make new sugar. Because they can make their own food, plants are called producers. They produce food from light. But sadly for us, although the sunshine might make us feel good, humans and other animals can't trap light energy in the same way plants can. We can't make our own sugar, so we get our energy another way, by stealing it from plants. Because we eat plants for energy, we animals are called consumers. Some animals only eat plants. For example, sheep eat grass, crabs eat seaweed, and mice eat plants, fruits, and seeds. We call them herbivores, but they're also sometimes called primary consumers because they are the first animal to eat the plants, like these guys.
Ah, that should do it. You pesky rabbits again? Always eating my carrots. I'm gonna put a stop to this once and for all. Alright, yep, let's do that. Finished.
I am the rabbit. Stop it.
Hee.
Stop the rabbits. Defeat the rabbits. Malfunction. Feed the rabbits.
Oh.
When primary consumers like those pesky rabbits eat the plants, the sugar molecules that are stored in the leaves are broken down in the animal's body, releasing the sun's energy trapped inside. The animal will use that energy to stay alive and to grow. And just like a plant stores energy as sugar molecules inside its leaves, animals also store some of their energy as special molecules inside their own cells. Some animals don't eat plants though. They eat other animals instead. For example, a snake eats a mouse. The snake is a carnivore, and carnivores get their energy from those molecules the other animals stored in their body, which they got from the plant and the plants made from the sunlight. This creates what's known as a food chain. Plants or producers make the food. Herbivores, who are primary consumers, eat the plants, and carnivores eat the primary consumers, which makes them secondary consumers. The energy from the sun is first trapped by plants, then goes up the food chain to each animal. You can have more animals at the top here too. A carnivore that eats another carnivore, like a hawk that eats a snake, is called a tertiary consumer. Your food chain can't go on forever though. Every animal needs to eat the food that will give it enough energy to stay alive. The problem is that passing on energy from plants to other animals isn't very efficient. Only a small amount of the energy, about 10%, gets passed on each time. So a patch of grass is able to turn about 10% of the sun's light energy into sugar. Mice eating that grass only get about 10% of the energy, and a snake eating the mice will only get 10% of that energy. By the time you get to the top, there's not much energy left. That means in a particular area, there are always fewer top carnivores than any other animal because there's less energy available to keep them alive. So these farmers better get their skates on.
Oh, hi, Jerry.
Hey, Bert.
I'm just getting ready to plow my last crop of the year.
I think you'll find that's my crop.
It belongs to me.
It's mine, and I'm gonna take it.
Not if I plow it first.
I got the horsepower to plow it first.
I've got more horsepower than you.
Not against my Plowmaster 3000.
Call that a plow? This is a plow.
Bert, look, it's Steve the Tortoise.
Oh, hey, Steve. Did you catch the game at the way? Hey, that's my crop.
Steve,
I'm taking my crop. Hey.
The food chain is dependent on the producers at the bottom. So if all the plants die, the animals that rely on them, either directly or indirectly, are also at risk. One way that animals can protect themselves from their food source disappearing is to eat more than one kind of food. A monkey will eat fruit, but also small animals too. Us humans eat a whole range of fruits and vegetables and different kinds of meats. An animal that is both a primary consumer eating plants and a secondary consumer eating other animals is called an omnivore. Having lots of different food sources means animals have options about where to get their energy from, and the food chains become joined up and crossed over into something called a food web, which could look something like this. Being part of a food web helps animals to survive because if one plant or animal dies out, they can eat something else. So when we're eating, say, a hamburger with bread made from wheat, beef from a cow, plus the lettuce, tomatoes, and maybe a bit of mayonnaise, we're actually just keeping our options open as omnivores at the top of a huge food web. It's amazing to think about how all living things are connected by this flow of energy that started out in the sun. But can you guess what type of plant is the most important producer on the planet? It's not trees or grass, but algae. Tiny green plants that float around in the water. And they are at the bottom of all the food chains in the ocean. Tiny shrimp eat the algae, fish eat the shrimp, bigger fish eat the smaller fish, and so on and on. And because the seas are so big, there's lots of space for algae to grow and support some really big fish, like sharks. And while we're talking about big animals, did you know that the biggest creature that ever walked to the earth was a vegetarian? It was a long-necked sauropod dinosaur, and they could be taller than 4 double-decker buses stacked on top of each other. Huge animals need to eat a huge amount of food, so these dinos would have needed to chomp 1,000 pounds of leaves every single day, and that's about the same as 900 lettuces.
Good evening and welcome to Luigi's. Can I get... Okay. Yes. No, we have that. A great choice, sir. There you go. Dinner is served. What? Buon appetito.
I would not be picking up their bill. So, we need to eat so that we can get energy to stay alive and to grow. That energy originally came from the sun and was trapped in sugar molecules by the plants. Those energy-rich molecules are passed up a food chain from producer to consumer, and food chains can be joined up into a food web when animals eat more than one kind of food. We're all part of a big interconnected network of energy. Now, all of this talking about delicious food has got me hungry. So, thanks for watching. For more awesome videos, make sure you hit that subscribe button and comment below with what question you'd like us to answer next.